Uh, well, let's officially start now. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whichever part of the world that you're in. Welcome to our 8th webinar from Ajuba in our skill development webinar series, Skill Scientific Knowledge for International Learning and Leadership. Today's webinar, we're going to focus on cybersecurity. All our webinars are recorded and are available on our website. So on the left side of the screen, you can see our past cybersecurity webinars. On the right, you can see the webinars that we have hosted so far on semiconductor. This year, we are focusing on two domains, cybersecurity and semiconductor. Next year, we're going to be adding artificial intelligence and quantum computing in our series. So all these webinars are recorded and are available on our website. Let's go to next. We were just talking about rise of cybercrime. I just wanted to kind of bring attention to our participant recent last month. There was a cyber attack in the casinos of Las Vegas. Over 100 million is expected in loss by the casino owners, MGM. So if you look at what really happened, for more than 10 days, the visitors were unable to use the digital room keys and the slot machines were all hacked. See, these are a few news clippings. India is no different. India last year, 2022, witnessed over 14 lakh cyber attacks with 50 government sites. There was an attack on Suzuki motorcycle in India, which halted the production for more than a week, which resulted a loss of 20,000 motorcycle units that could be out in the market. All major companies, be it SBI, Domino's, Air India, all have experienced cyber attacks. There was a staggering report that was published that 92% of Indian companies have experienced cyber breaches one way or the other. I always say that every challenge also brings opportunities for cyber experts to join the field. And there is, if you look at the number of jobs that are available that goes unfilled is essentially 3.5 million jobs on cybersecurity are unfulfilled. That essentially for folks in India, they can relate, is 3x population of Chandigarh. So that is the number of jobs available in cybersecurity. We have two partners that Ajuba closely works. Rochester Institute of Technology, which is a university out of Rochester, New York, closer to Niagara Falls. We work very closely with RIT, both on cybersecurity, semiconductor, and other programs. ThriveDX is a global company from Israel. We work with ThriveDX on the content and labs, which we will talk a little bit further about those. This webinar is all about creating awareness. In last 2 weeks, we have written 4 major blogs. These blogs are available on our website. We started off ideas that organizations can implement within to create awareness on cyber security. Then we also have a blog of 25 ideas that high school administrators or high schools could implement for cyber security awareness. Then third is universities, colleges, we identified 25 ideas for them to implement cybersecurity awareness. Finally, last night we launched a blog with 40 cybersecurity practices that every individual essentially can implement in their practices to avoid cybercrime. Now, all of these are available on our website, and you can easily go on our website to, so just go on the blog, on the top menu, all these blog 40 ideas that individuals can implement are all listed here. So I would encourage everybody to kind of take time. This is 25 ideas that universities could implement in their colleges or universities. I will not go deeper into these, but these are available on our website. Coming back here. So together with ThriveDX, we essentially are working with education institutes to make available two different programs. One is Introduction to Cybersecurity. It's a 30 hours of content and lab. This can be easily implemented to the 10th, 11th, and 12th grade high school students. And also this could be easily implemented in colleges and universities. In fact, I urge all the universities to make this available across all departments and programs, because we need to make cybersecurity awareness across, not only for computer science, but also for music, other departments, programs also. Then we have an in-depth boot camp, which we call 480 hours of contents in lab, which we are implementing with bachelor's degrees, postgraduate diploma, and master's degrees program. The same is available for organizations. With organizations, we are creating awareness with the introduction to cybersecurity and for advanced training for IT personnel. Now, all of this is online. In fact, with this, I'm going to introduce Osvaldo Rivera, who's the lead impact facilitator with ThriveDX. In fact, before joining his professional life, he was with the US Army for 22 years. And also worked with the workforce solutions of Central Texas prior to kind of taking up a role with ThriveDX. Without further delay, I'm going to essentially give the floor to Ovi. Short, that's the nickname that we call him with. Ovi, floor is all yours.
Thank you, Bajit. Can you hear me still?
Yes, yeah, we can hear you.
Thank you, Bajit. Let me share my screen. And here we go. All right. So as Vajit said, Ovi is my nickname. Most people knows me as Ovi. Here, I live in the United States, and for a lot of North Americans, it's harder for them to pronounce Osvaldo. So my nickname has always been Ovi. Even during the military, my friends knew me as Ovi. So Ovi it is. It's a lot easier and for people to pronounce it. And obviously it comes from Osvaldo. So as Valjit stated, I spent 22 years in the United States Army. I'm a combat veteran of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. But what's important is that cybersecurity was not always my background. In fact, my job in the military had nothing to do with cybersecurity. In fact, all the opposite. Yes, I learned a lot of information security throughout my 22 years, a lot of operational security, all kinds of, I had access to certain information. So there's a lot of transferable skills that I was able to bring into cybersecurity. But that doesn't mean that if you were not in the military, you cannot bring transferable skills. That's far from the truth. And in fact, as Baji was mentioning in the bootcamp, I am also a graduate of our Cybersecurity Bootcamp. And when I went into it, I was a network administrator, and I had no knowledge of everything I learned in the 6 months that I attended the full, it was part-time, but the 480 hours for 6 months cybersecurity bootcamp. And everything that I wanted to learn, everything that I was looking for, I learned it at the bootcamp because a lot of stuff was new to me. I basically knew how to use a computer. I knew a little more because I always messed with the computers. I knew how to do your PowerPoints, your Excel, knew the basic computer literacy. That's all I knew. Now today, you can see on my screen, I am CompTIA Security Certified. I'm taking another exam Wednesday to be certified in cybersecurity by ISC Square. And everything I learned it at the bootcamp. So if you are new to cybersecurity and you don't think this is something for you because you don't have that background, you can put that to rest. You can come in without cybersecurity experience and still go through the bootcamp, learn, and be able to come out with skills enough to land an entry-level job in cybersecurity. And I'll talk more about the bootcamp later on. So who we are as ThriveDX, and as Baljit mentioned, we have a partnership, and we are, as the slide say, we are a global cyber education company. We reskill the workforce and upskill. Reskill and upskill meaning those that have, when you're talking about reskilling, you're talking about people like me that had a lot of transferable skills, but it wasn't cybersecurity. So they had to reskill me and add all these other skills that I needed to become a cybersecurity professional. And once again, you don't need to have a background in cybersecurity to come into the bootcamp. Basic computer literacy, math, some analytical skills would take you a long way in this bootcamp. And it's a lot of skills that you learn on a daily basis too. If you're a working adult, I started this late when it was after my retired from Army. I went to the bootcamp when I was 50 years old. So it's never too late. Upskill means those that already have certain skills. For example, I was already working in the IT industry, so I learned some in that year. Those were the upskill, those that already have some knowledge. And when he talks in there about the innovative and leading edge education and training solutions, let me tell you that I tell everyone that listens to me. By far, the bootcamp that I attended at ThriveDX is on the top 3 of best trainings I ever had in my life, including the training that I've got in the military for 22 years. Including I've learned more and got more training than what I did while I was attending graduate school, earning a master's degree. And those 6 months, you do a lot of, not just theory, you do a lot of hands-on. You do a lot of hands-on on the same tools that the cyber criminals are using, and the same tools that are being used in the industry. And by doing that, then we tackle the 2 greatest threats, which is not enough people, and the skills gap is big. We're trying to close that skills gap so there's enough skills personnel out there to battle or to fight this enemy. There seems to be an invisible enemy, but he or she is out there. And I say he or she because it could be anyone, and anyone is vulnerable. If you're connected, you're vulnerable. So into the cybersecurity is the course that Balji was talking about. I'm going to talk about the course after this slide, but I just want to put top cybersecurity threats, some of them, and they change all the time. But if you look at every list or every site, this will probably pop up a lot of the times. You learn a lot about this during the full bootcamp. You actually learn how to find malwares. You learn how to see what the malware is doing. You learn how to see its behavior. You learn how to identify, find it, and destroy it. You learn all that stuff during the 480 hours bootcamp. You learn about web applications attack. And in fact, I was going to do a demo, but the situation in Israel now, I know some of our servers are probably there, so some of the labs are running slow, so I may not get to do that. Insider threat. Why insider threat? Sometimes that's your probably worst enemy, someone from the inside. There's a bunch of things that you can do once or to try to identify an insider threat, but they come from the inside. Oop. Okay, so the intro to cybersecurity course these are all the subjects that you will go through it for the intro to cybersecurity course. It's not, you don't have to have really no background on anything here. You doing this course, I think you use one virtual machine, but it's a amazing foundation, this course over here, especially if you go on to take the full boot camp. This will give you I'd say an advantage of those that this is, to me, the intro to cybersecurity course is like a prep course for the big boot camp, because we're going to touch every one of those subjects in the 480 hours boot camp. So these are the subjects that you will cover week by week. There's a total of 9 weeks. So you start with cybersecurity, crime and popular threat, malware world, attacks in our daily life. That's 1 week. You'll take a quiz, you'll take an exam, and at the end you take an exam. I'm not saying it's simple, but it's very simple in comparison to when you go deeper into advanced cybersecurity. But it's a great foundation, and it would definitely open your eyes, because regardless of how many tools are out there to fight the cyber criminals or to secure the networks, regardless of how much knowledge you have and how many tools, a lot of times it comes down to a mindset. That's another thing we try to implement with the students, to change their mindset on how they see things. You know, I'm a walking risk management type of person. Probably a lot of that was from the military, because we were always doing risk management and risk assessment. Risk management and risk assessment is extremely important, and has nothing to do with really with computers or cybersecurity. A risk management to identify the possible risk is very important before you start doing all the cybersecurity stuff. Okay, so I want to stop here, and I want to show you the layout of the intro to cybersecurity course, so you can see it, and you can see how easy it is to navigate. Let me. Okay. Okay, so the screen that you're seeing right now is the module, what I call the module, but this is the course of the intro to cybersecurity. This is the element, what they call the learning management system. This is the platform where all the students access, and all their material, everything is here. They don't have to download anything. They don't have to go to a third party, nothing. It's here. This is your classroom. Everything is right here. So as soon as you open it and you look over here, it tells you it's only 18 units. To give you a different perspective, when I said this was somewhat of a prep course, when you go into the Cybersecurity Bootcamp, the 480 hours one, there is a pre-work, and the pre-work alone has 198 lessons. So it's very intense, but it's a short amount of time that the students have to learn all this stuff. 6 months is very intense. It's called a boot camp because it comes from the military terms of boot camps, where it's short, intense training to get, when I was in the military, once upon a time, I was a drill sergeant. So we were training new recruits. We had anywhere from 180 to 220. We get them from week 1 to week 14. And at week 14, they're ready to go and do their jobs. Same concept over here, week 1 to week 24. It's a little longer, but they're ready to go into the field as an entry-level cybersecurity analyst or cybersecurity professional. Because during the cybersecurity bootcamp, they do a lot of hands-on. So here you go to module, let's say week 1, you start week 1, you click on module 1, and it takes you to another site. And it's very, very intuitive. It has a combination of games, videos, and theory. which is the methodology that we used to teach, rather than reading, and a lot of theory, and you do no hands-on, there's no visuals. That calls for kind of like that traditional type of education that I was used to. Here, it's very interactive, very intuitive. Once again, videos, lessons, and then you have knowledge checks all throughout the boot camp. You have knowledge check all throughout, and it tells you your grades and summary. Some of them have an exam. Most of them have 2 or 3 knowledge checks, and then you close it and you go to week 2. I'm sorry. Yeah, week 2 right here. Module 1, week 2. There's three modules, and it goes from week 1 to week 9. So you go to the next one, the same thing again. Now here you're talking about malware analysis, talking about phishing, spear phishing. A lot of this stuff here, believe it or not, that's on the intro to cyber were questions that I found on the certification for the Security Plus, just from the intro to cyber. But this is an amazing course because it gives you the foundation and some of the lingo that you're going to see in the big boot camp. This is an amazing way to start here with the pre-work. And all of them are like that. See over here, you have another knowledge check and summary, week 2. And I'm assuming week 3, there you go. Then you have a module quiz. You have a module quiz here, you have a module quiz here, you have a module quiz on the third one, and you have a final exam. And like the other ones, I lost my train of thought over here. So you have 3 quizzes and a final exam. Once again, it's a smaller course. It's somewhat easy compared to the other ones. A lot of information. It gives you, once again, a lot of the foundation and a lot of the lingo that you will find in the big boot camp, and actually in cybersecurity in general. If you are there working in the field, you're going to deal with stuff like this. You're going to deal with malwares. You're going to deal with phishing attacks. I'm sure many of you have been exposed to phishing attacks. They're all over the place. And I always tell people, think before you click. Think before you click. We're quick to click, especially on Facebook. I always tell my kids and any friend that I have, do not answer any of those Facebook survey questions, or a lot of times they ask people, where were you at during the, a lot of those things are security questions. Those are questions that you use when you're setting up a new account. They're collecting all that data and using it. So think before you click is what I tell everybody when it comes to cybersecurity. Complacency kills. It's once again, the enemy is out there every day. They spend every day finding ways to attack you, your organization. So we need to be aware. That's what awareness is for. And it starts with awareness. It starts with training. It starts with changing our mindsets, how we think and how we see the world, because it's not the same anymore. We are all connected. And if you are connected, you are vulnerable. And if you're not connected, I don't know what will we do in 2023 if we're not connected. But just about everything, we have to access the internet to conduct business. Look at me, I'm full-time. I'm a full-time lead impact facilitator, and I spend 10, 12, 14 hours in front of the computer connected all day. So if you are connected, you are vulnerable. So this is where the mindset comes in. You got to have that mentality to not that if it's going to happen or when it's going to happen. You have to protect yourself. It has to start with you. And the bootcamp trains you for all that. Let me go back over here. Okay, so when it comes to the full bootcamp, that's the 480 hours, is 24 weeks of, once again, blended hands-on world-class content. Why is it that? Because, okay, I'm gonna break that one down. Hands-on world-class content. Why is it called world-class? The developers of this material and this bootcamps are former members of Unit 8200. Unit 8200, if you look it up, is a unit from the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, that are considered the best in the world at what they do. Comparable to the United States National Security Agency. They were the ones that developed this course and the material for it. So the material and the training techniques and the methodology that you're getting it from the best in the world. I tell anyone that asks me to, I was trained by the best. I'm a product of the product, because yes, I'm a product of this bootcamp. I started with the bootcamp as a student, and I was trained by the best. It really opened my eyes to a lot of stuff that I was not aware of it, things that until the bootcamp, I only heard about them. But until you see it with your own eyes, it's when you realize this is serious business. At the end, if I have time, and if the VMs are willing to work today, I'll do a demonstration so you can see how easy someone with the knowledge that I have and finding a vulnerability, how easy it is to get into somebody's web application, go even further, go into the database and collect information from there. So if I have time, I'll show you a hack that would take me, if I have all the knowledge that I do now and an unsecure device, it will take me no time to get in there. So if I do have time and the VMs cooperate, I'll show you a hack at the end. Once again, so the learners, prepare them from entry level. I mentioned that before. Entry level cybersecurity jobs. And once again, technical and soft skills. Soft skills are very important. Trust me, soft skills in the workplace, you could be the best cybersecurity person, but if you have zero soft skills, at least where I'm at, nobody's going to hire you. And if they hire you, they're going to fire you quick because you don't fit their culture. There's a lot of soft skills that you learn throughout the bootcamp. You learn how to do reports. You learn how to do presentations. You learn how to speak to other students. You learn how to act in a very intense bootcamp, because it's stressful. It gets to the student. There's times that I tell the students walk away from the computer and come back. So it's a tough course, but it prepares you. I tell everyone once again that listen to me. I learned more in this cybersecurity bootcamp for 6 months than I did in my master's degree in computer information systems. When I was doing my master's degree, I think we did one lab. Here, you will learn something and right away you go to the lab. You go hands-on with the tools that are used in the industry today. So it's not just reading and taking an exam. You're actually doing labs constantly. We have hundreds of labs. So you access everything from the get-go. The students learn how to administer a network. They learn how to configure switches. They learn how to configure routers. They learn how to build VLANs, router on a stick, everything about network administration. They learned it during the first 4 weeks, week 2, 3, and 4. Why do you learn about network administration? Because you have to learn about it before you can defend it. You have to learn about servers. You have to learn how the communication goes from point A to point B. How is it broken down? Which channels is going to? What protocols are they using? All that stuff. You learn network administration first. You learn how to set up all your switches, routers, everything. And then immediately, not long after that, you learn how to secure it. Because it's not just about setting up a network and forgetting about it. There's a lot of IT directors, at least in my experience, that have this mentality of set it and forget it. They set the network, they set the device, and then they forget about them. And as long as they're working, nobody goes and check on them. That's mistake number one. You need to have somebody periodically going and check. You have to have somebody monitoring those networks. You have to have somebody monitoring. Because if not, it's sooner or later, it's a matter of time before you get attacked. Okay, cybersecurity job categories. There's cybersecurity everywhere because you can be in any industry. Everyone needs cybersecurity. Everyone that's connected needs cybersecurity. So it's around the attack, around the defense, across different industries or different companies. When you see at the top, around the attack is before stuff happens, while stuff is happening, and after stuff happens. There's 3 different jobs right there. You can be a threat intel, collecting intel, doing reconnaissance, just threat intel in general. If when you have an incident happening, then you have to activate your reaction teams, your incident response teams. You have to activate them. Once the incident is under control, and then you need forensics to look for evidence, what kind of damages, anything that could stand up in the court of law is when you come into cyber forensics. So around the defense, then you need somebody to protect it. You need operations, you need secure coding, you need somebody to design the network and design it securely. And across different industry, different CISOs, a lot of organizations have their chief information security officers, and they need to have them, especially the bigger they are, they need a subject matter expert when it comes to cybersecurity. These are just concepts that you learn in the bootcamp. This one is very important because this one is in the minds of every cybersecurity professional. It's known as the CIA triad: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Not the Central Intelligence Agency, but the CIA triads of cybersecurity. Everything we do on cybersecurity, from policies to protocols to giving employees access to XYZ devices, everything that we do, we measure it against these three principles of cybersecurity, the CIA triad. Because when it comes to availability, everybody wants everything available to them every day at the workplace. They want to have their computers, they want to have their cell phone, they want to have access to Amazon, they want to have access to Amazon Music and Amazon to do shopping while they're working. Unfortunately, you can't have all that stuff because having more stuff can actually create a vulnerable environment because you don't know the websites that employees are visiting. So availability is not always there, but you need to have what needs to be available to get the job done. It needs to be available, and the uptime for that it needs to be close to 100% as you can, because that's going to be the key. If not, then the organization is going to suffer. Integrity means that what you receive, you have the confidence that it wasn't changed or altered while it was in transit or while it was stored, that the same information hasn't been changed at all or messed with while it was in transit. And you learn ways in the bootcamp to verify that. And confidentiality is everything that we all want. We want privacy. We want our stuff to be private. We don't want everybody to know everything about us, about our organization, because once again, the hackers are out there and cyber criminals are out there to commit those type of crimes, and they're looking for a lack of confidentiality, a lack of integrity, lack of availability. They're looking for those glitches, and they're looking for those organizations that probably are not living by these principles and are not secure. More concepts. You learn about vulnerabilities. You learn about a site where you can go and research all the vulnerabilities that have been found that are out there. You learn everything about it, and that CVE, common vulnerabilities and exploits. Threat actor is someone that more likely works for a government. They call APTs, advanced persistent threats. And an exploit is something, once you find a vulnerability, like you see there, they use a window. There's a window open. So the threat actors and all that's going to use that to exploit it. They're going to use that vulnerability to exploit your system. And who knows what they're going to do. It depends on what their plan is. Their plan may be to get in your system and just stay there and spy and steal information. Or their plan could be to do a ransomware and encrypt all your stuff. Once again, it says motivations and actors. What are the motivations for people to do what they do? That would be another complete subject. People do what they do for many reasons. But when it comes to cybersecurity, you see what they call script kiddies. Just because it's called script kiddie doesn't mean it's a kid. You could be an adult. You could be like me, 51 years old, and be a script kiddie. It's someone that's not very experienced and just doing stuff to prove their friends, hey, look what I did. But that's how they start. And yes, a lot of script kiddies are teenagers. They're always on computers. Ideological, this is your hacktivists. They're trying to get you to they're trying to push their beliefs on everybody else. Here's the APTs I was talking about, nation sponsored. Those are very dangerous because they have a lot of resources and money, and they have governments that back them up. So they are very dangerous, very powerful, and they have all the resources. And financial, people do it for money. You saying that script kiddies all to cybercrime syndicates. There's money. There's a lot of money in that, obviously. And when there's money, there's always criminals. You learn about viruses, you learn about malware. Now, it's not the same. You learn about all these viruses, you learn how malwares, you learn how they propagate, you learn how they move from one place to the other. You learn about backdoors, you learn about bots, you learn about all that stuff during the bootcamp. Remember I said at the beginning, there is a lab that you actually go in there and somebody downloaded what they thought it was a PDF, but it was actually a virus. And you get to see the entire process from when you were notified that someone's device is not working properly or is moving slow. You get to see it from that point all the way till you take the malware out of the system. That in itself, it was amazing for me, because up until then, I only heard about viruses and malware. And I could only say, well, my computer's acting slow. I didn't know how to look for viruses or malware before. I do now. And you can also make a career out of doing just this. Or if you coming into cybersecurity and you land a job as a cybersecurity analyst in a security operations center team, the SOC teams, you're probably going to be monitoring, possibly just monitoring traffic for a while and looking for suspicious traffic. You learn this one over here is an amazing thing to learn. This was one of the first things I actually learned before I even came into bootcamp, but in the bootcamp, it became a lot more clear. If you can see on one side is exactly how we communicate with a taxi driver, with an Uber driver, with anybody that's giving us a ride somewhere. We just tell them, hey, take me here. The cab driver put the address in the little thing, and they take us there to that address, those coordinates, and right there is either a reception, a business center. It could be a sports event. Maybe I went to see a soccer game, and that's how I communicate with somebody that took me there. The other side is exactly how the computers communicate. It's exactly how computers get from one place to the other. And where you see the ports is another very important thing that you will learn in the bootcamp. The port is the equivalent of services. Each port has a different service. For example, if in there you saw port 80, for those of us in the industry, you know, port 80 is internet traffic. So if you're analyzing something and you see port 80, more likely it was internet traffic. Although they can change the port numbers sometimes to trick the enemy, but that's basically how they communicate. They need an IP address and they need a MAC address. A MAC address, every device has a MAC address. It's a physical address. So without that, an IP address and a DNS and all that, they would not be able to communicate. But you learn all that stuff. You also learn attacks like man in the middle, how to get in the middle and steal some of that communication and change it and send it to the person that requested it. Once again, you learn all this stuff not to become a hacker or a malicious hacker. You learn it to obviously for yourself, for your career, and for the organization that you end up working with. This one right here is another tool that is amazing. Most people use the TCP model, but in academia and college and everywhere you see the OSI model. Is a troubleshoot model, is also how computers and how traffic goes from one place to the other. If you look from bottom to the top, let me show you over here real quick. Over here, all these 6 layers. That's how people in the industry communicate. Hey, I have an issue on layer 3. Okay, I know layer 3 is network. Hey, check layer 5 session. So you have to memorize this thing. And for me, the best way to memorize it was P, D, then they call it mnemonics, T, P, S. So it'd be please do not throw sausage pizza away. There's one over here at the end, which is the application. Let me see, move it out here. The application. So please do not throw sausage pizza away. Or you can do it the other way around. All people should need data processing. So you find your own way to, but this is exactly how computers and how, for example, sometimes you call IT and IT asks you, do you check all the cables, make sure everything's connected? Because a lot of times that's all it is. Somebody pulled the cable and all of a sudden your computer doesn't have access to internet. So the first thing you want to check is the physical. The physical layer is the first thing. And then you learn all the way up to the application. Everything in between is what's happening and how the information transport from one place to the other. Let me clear. So this is called the OSI model. And the TCP model is pretty much the same, except the TCP model has 4 layers because it has the top 3 layers combined with the 4th one. They all combine. So it's smaller, but most people, I use the OSI model. Okay, so what is hackable? This is just a diagram. Everything is hackable. Everything is hackable. And that thing down at the bottom, PEPCAP, is the problem. This is another one of those. The problem exists between the chair and the keyboard, meaning the humans. We are the most vulnerable people. Human nature gets to us. That's why they have hackers out there that are experts at a technique called social engineer. Get you or persuade you to give them information and commit their cybercrime. So the problem exists between the chair and the keyboard. And now I have a small video so you can see someone with, it didn't even need a computer. And you see what happened. This happened at the it's called it's a conference they do in Vegas, is where all the hackers go. I forgot the name now, but it's in Vegas. It's a big convention, and this happens there. Let me clear all. Okay, give me 1 second. Did you hear that, Bajit? Were you able to?
I can hear you, not the video. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna reshare it with the sound.
Done right. Zaxby's Fried Chicken Philly.
As an entrepreneur, as a creator, I'm 24/7 on the go all the time. Shopify makes it very easy.
Systems. I asked Dan Tentler, a well-known security researcher, to turn all of his firepower on me.
I did get into quite a number of things that I found.
So what were the first things you did? How did you start hacking me?
I quickly found your Squarespace blog and had an idea. Basically what I did was created a bogus Squarespace site and sent an email to you, a fish asking you to go to the
Hacker Convention of the Year. It's a place where thousands of hackers come to hear talks to demonstrate their newest hacks. It's actually a place that's so dangerous to be on the internet that they tell you to turn off the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth on your phone, and they tell you not to use the ATMs too, because those could be hacked as well. This is the DEF CON ballroom. This is sort of the main room where things are happening, and it's pretty wild. I think this is Car Hacking Village. This car's locked. Can you get me in?
I'll unlock it for you. Should be good.
Hacking is no longer like this fringe activity, and if you are at DEF CON, there's a good chance that you're here because you want to learn what could happen to you or your company.
Anyone here first time in the SCCTF? Holy crap.
I invited Chris to hack me with his team, but they're going to hack me using social engineering, which is essentially hacking without any code. They just use a phone and an internet connection.
We help people with human security, issues by testing vulnerabilities for like a network test, but it's for the people network. We test those vulnerabilities, see where the holes are, and then help people learn so they can patch them.
Can we try some of this? Can we try some?
Yeah.
See if it works.
Yeah, we probably could have our star visher here make some phone calls as.
Let's do it.
Sure. Do you want to do a sample phishing call?
What's phishing?
Phishing is voice solicitation, and basically what you do is you use the phone to extract information or data points that can be used in a later attack.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Who are you gonna call?
Maybe I'll call your cell phone provider
Okay.
and see if I can get them to give me your email address.
I bet they're good. I bet they have my back. But yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna spoof from your number, so it's gonna look like it's calling from you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me okay? My baby, I'm sorry. My husband's like, we're about to apply for a loan and we just had a baby and he's like, get this done by today. So I'm so sorry, I can't call you back. I'm trying to log into our account for uses information and I can't remember what email address we used to log the account. The baby's crying and can you help me? Awesome.
In just 30 seconds,
gmail.com?
Jessica gets my personal email address.
Now, if I needed to add our older daughter on our account so she could call in and make changes, how would I need to go about doing that? You would have to send me a secure PIN through a text message? Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't think I'll be able to receive a text message if I'm on the phone. Shh. Oh, I'm not on there either? So I thought when we got married, he added me to the account. Okay, my
Jessica uses my girlfriend's name and a fake social security number
5127.
to set up her own personal access to my account.
Wait, I'm sorry, so there's no password on my account right now? Can I set that up?
She even gets the support person to change my password.
Thank you so much for your help today.
So she just basically blocked me out of my own account.
I'll get her fed after this. All right, thank you.
Holy shit. So they just gave you access to my entire cell phone account.
You're gonna have to go on and change your password now because it's Jess, my name.
And all it took was a crying baby and a phone call.
Yes.
I really thought that my cell phone company would protect me. I mean, like, this is the most basic stuff, and they're not doing it. And if they're not
I'm on mute.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you saw in that video, she had no computer. You didn't need any computer skills at all. And she used social engineering skills, and within a few minutes, she changed everything in his account to include the password. So that's why that last slide that you saw says PETCAP. The problem exists between the chair and the keyboard. We are the most vulnerable, and it's human nature. And all it took was a crybaby on a laptop on a YouTube video, and she took over his entire account. That shouldn't happen, but it does happen more often than you think. I went to when I was in the U.S. Army, I was a recruiter for 2 years. And trust me, we go to a recruiting school, which I call it social engineering school, because I learned how to persuade others to actually enlist in the Army, which is not an easy thing. But you learn certain skills and techniques that are amazing for cybersecurity. But once again, that lady had no computer. Bajit, I think that's it for me.
Thanks, Ovi. We'll go to the next part of the session. I just wanted to kind of, there were a few queries also that came in. I just want to reiterate, how can we integrate this with schools and universities? So this was the slide I showed earlier. There are two ways we can utilize what you saw today. So there are two different packages. One is Introduction to Cybersecurity, which is a 30 hours of content and lab. In intro, it's more of a content than labs, just the quizzes. But the boot camp, which is about 480 hours, it has extensive labs. So Introduction to Cybersecurity, we encourage all the high school institutions to kind of think about integrating this in the 10th, 11th, and 12th grade students. Let's make them aware about the cybersecurity issues, and also This will give them a visibility of the different kind of professional path that they want to take. So the short course, which could be integrated in 9 weeks, 10 weeks, 6 months, whichever way, it's all flexible. Now, coming to universities and colleges, we can easily integrate 480 hours into a 4-year bachelor's degree program. So those 480 hours, there are 12 major modules which can be integrated as per the semester system. Or we could condense those into a postgraduate diploma or a master's degree. So these are the two different ways that we are working with the educational institutes. So if you are looking to integrate this, you can reach us. These are the different contacts. Now, there is a third path also. We are offering an online introduction to certification program, which starts the first week of November. So it's all online. Just go to our website. You will find those. So I'm just going to go to the website here. You can see under divisions, education, and you will see the 10-week online program. So if you are an individual interested to learn about this, it starts on November 4th and it will end on January 6th. It's an instructor-led online. Every Saturday, we will have an online training from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. India time. So this is another way. The fees is also listed here. So this could be another way for any individual who's looking to get into this field with the intro to cybersecurity. Now let's move on to our Q&A session. I have few questions that came in with the registrations, and there are a few questions, Ovi, that came up right now.
Okay.
First question is, what are some of the common cybersecurity threats that organizations should be aware of? Maybe top 2 or 3 that really happens.
Phishing is the first one. Phishing is those emails that you get promising you something, or they use your emotion. They send an email either trying to get you to act quickly, or the price is going to go away, or they use scare tactics that if you don't act on it, something may happen to you or your organization. Send me some money. Or they use human emotions to try to get you to click on it. So look for phishing. When it comes to spear phishing, it's a different technique. They target certain individuals. Phishing goes to a bunch of people. Phishing should be the first thing. That's why I say, think before you click. Don't click on everything. Facebook is really good for that. When you look at somebody's post and somebody's picture on the comments, you always see someone posting, hey, here's the video of the accident. Here's the video of the arrest. Here's the video of the protest. You click on it, they got you. Don't click on anything. We're quick to click. So phishing will be my number one to look for. Obviously, social engineering, because we're not looking for someone in a computer. We forget that someone like me, I can just walk into an organization and do a quick social engineering and walk out. And if nobody asks me anything, they saw me coming in, they probably would never know. And I'll go in there and I'll grab a business card that has the Wi-Fi SSID, and I start my investigation through there. So, and I didn't need a computer. I could have just wore a suit, walked in, grab a business card. I could have went to everybody's desk, has their business cards and their emails, and start my attack. I'm not in a hurry. It's not going to take me 24 hours, but that's what I would look for in organizations. Those will be my top 2.
Okay. The next one is from the individual perspective, Ovi, is how can identity thefts be prevented? So
identity theft, huh?
From a personal individual point of view.
Yeah, that's another one of those that when I say complacency kills, identity theft. There's many ways that you can protect yourselves. Now, one, we call it in cybersecurity defense in depth. because it's a layer of protection, like an onion. It's not just one thing that's going to fix your identity theft. It's weak passwords, is your interactions on you. If you notice, when I started playing the video, that guy mentioned that he already knew about the guy something because he looked him up on somewhere. I do that all the time. I'm all the time looking for, I'm not a malicious hacker, but they're looking for you. They're looking for you on the social media, and they're looking for your patterns, the stuff that you post, because all that stuff can actually add up to maybe your password is the name of your dog. I see you in love with your dog. You always put in the name of your dog on Facebook. Guess what I'm going to try? Your Facebook, your dog's name. And that may be your password. There is a tool. Look at this one. There is a tool that you learn in the bootcamp that I can actually get information that's publicly available from you. I can take this tool and take the 3 or 4 words, put it in there, and that tool will give me probably a combination of 100 possible passwords. And I'm going to attack you with that information that you gave me because you put it out there. I think when it comes to identity theft, we need to learn how to be a little more vigilant. It is going to happen. I don't want you to go with that mentality. Oh, we're safe. No, we're not. We're vulnerable. So it's a mindset.
No, I definitely. Abby, just for everybody, we kind of listed 40 different ways you can, or the best practices, I would say best practices that you can essentially, you can see it here. Best practices that you can really evolve in your life to prevent identity thefts or any kind of. So these are all different best practices that you can deploy in your daily life.
Hey, but did you see number 2?
Yeah.
Remember, I mentioned the password.
Yeah.
Strong, unique password. Look at 4. Beware of phishing.
Yeah.
3 is really good. If you haven't done multi-factor authentication, do it quick, fast, and hurry. I got everything on MFA.
So this blog is available on our website. Like I said before, also the 40 different best practices. This was essentially published this morning. We have 25 ideas for universities on our blog, 25 ideas for high schools, and 25 ideas for any corporates to implement. Wait, the next question that we have is essentially, how can organizations or individuals stay updated with the latest cybersecurity threats? Is there a website? I kind of asked that earlier also. Since everybody is online, we want to ask this again.
Yeah, a website to check on updates and all that. I'm gonna show you. Can I show you one real quick?
Sure.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna share this with you. And these are live attacks that are happening. By the way, India is the 13th most attacked country. Look, I go here. I go India. You're number. Whoop. Go back to India. Right here. Number 13. You're number 13 most attacked country. And then when I go here, right here was a statistic. By the way, this cyber map is by Kaspersky. Is a well-known source. There's a few of them out there. I like this one because I can also go down to your country. Worldwide. Okay, so I go here and let me look because I can put the name of your country and look for the okay, here. I go to India. It tells me, for example, October 7, which it was yesterday, look how many on access scan, 135,998 events. That was just yesterday. Look at, these are all the ones that are being tracked. Trojan. Trojan is, is something that's disguised as something known, something that you think is safe. They disguise as that. Yesterday, they actually had ransomware. Okay, let's do ransomware. There were 885 events or incidents yesterday. ransomware in India. 874 the day before, 1,082 the day before that. They're always out there. They're always trying to attack. This is a really good to go look so you can see why you need cybersecurity and why is it important. And maybe you want to get the course so you can be able to identify these things and protect your own network, your own network at home. And then you can, in the drop down, you can look for more, depending on what you're looking for. Mail antivirus, intrusion detection. They're trying to get in. They look how many intrusion detections, 114,376 just yesterday. If that's not an eye opener, I don't know what is. That's
Truly.
That's one place that you can go and look. Let me show you another one real quick. MITR, this website right here, MITR. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
See what it says right here. It's a globally accessible knowledge base of adversary tactics and techniques based on real world observation. And you can click on it and look at tactics, techniques. These are the groups that I was talking about, APT. You see over here on the left-hand side, APT 1, APT 12, APT 6. These are all malicious groups that are every day out there doing whatever they want to do to try. A lot of these APTs work for very powerful governments. So this is another place that you can go and find information. I usually go a lot of times to Bleeping Computer. I go here and I get a lot of info in there. Or I also go to Hacker News. The Hacker News right here, the #1 trusted cybersecurity site. You can find everything in there too.
No, excellent. These are excellent. In fact, these are the tools and techniques that one would learn in the intro and also in the boot camp in detail. Where do you find information that you're looking for? Next question, Avi, in fact, that's for me. I could take that. Is the 30-hour training program for teachers also? Yes. In fact, what we do is for any university or school, when we go and implement, we tell that first, let us train the teachers before we even come to the students. So that this program is for the teachers as well as for the students. Both, we can do it instructor-led or by your own self at your own pace. You can do that. Next question, Avi, I have for you is, how can we recognize the original websites from the other fake domains?
That's a great question.
There a way?
There is. Once again, it's a mindset. I've been doing it for, I went to the boot camp in 21, but to be honest with you, when computers were first available to humans, to us, that we could afford them, the first computer that I bought was around 97. And I think it was a Pentium 2 350, I think it was. And I had a Commodore 64 in the mid 80s that my godfather gave me, but I never learned how to use it. All I knew is I liked them from the first time I seen one. But when I got mine in 97 and 98, I recall going on the internet for the first time, doing the dial-up, the little, you wait forever to get in. And when I was on the internet, I noticed that there were ways that I could change. I'm not going to tell you here. There were ways that I could actually get access to stuff that was not there. Little did I know that was hacking. Now, I know now. But when I remember learning how to do it, I was like, this is weird. How come it's showing me stuff that it shouldn't be showing me? So the first thing and you learn in the boot camp too, when I open a website, I'm always curious. I don't click anything. The first thing I look at the link. And a lot of times they misspell the website and it looks almost identical. And there's some misspelling there. I also look for the little lock. If it doesn't have the little icon of the lock, it's not secure. I'm not using it. It's using HTTP instead of HTTPS. There's a lot of ways you can do it, but yes, there's a lot of fake ones out there. The best thing to do, in my opinion, and obviously not just my opinion, stuff you learn at the boot camp. Once again, defense in depth. Not one thing is going to solve it. For example, in my computer, I have a malware, anti-malware, antivirus. I have a VPN. I have everything I can have in my, I have a VPN, I have 2 VPNs and an anti-malware, anti-virus. You need to have some sort of monitoring tool, something, because if you don't, trust me, they're gonna have a field day with you. It'd be no time your computer will be locked or crash.
No, totally. In fact, I second that. Obvious. Typically, I see at least 5 to 10 emails per day in my inbox with the number of ways I give webinars because people know you and they try to hack you. You will find that email coming. It'll be a email. Let's say a bank called HDFC is very common in India. So an email coming, it appears that email is coming from HDFC, but if you look at the real email domain, it is not HDFC, it is something else. So individuals should be careful that what emails that are coming in or even websites, are those secure, are those HTTPS or HTTP, like Avi mentioned. So you got to be very vigilant in your daily practices.
Another, Vajit, another thing you can do also when you're on any website, hover over any link. Don't click on it, just hover over it and leave it there and look in the bottom left of the screen. It pops up, usually the actual link. Sometimes when you hover over it, it looks friendly. When you look at the bottom at the actual link, it's something look like a foreign language. Do not click on it. Think before you click.
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. So with that, Ovi, I would like to kind of thank you for amazing session. I really I myself learned quite a bit. I love the OSI model, how to remember. Please do not throw sausages, pizza away.
Yes.
So, amazing how you have given small techniques in today's session. As a takeaway, I learned myself a lot of new things. Really want to thank you and all our participants globally. Yeah, stay tuned for our future webinar that's coming up. So the next webinar is going to be on semiconductors. That's another key sector that we focus on. You will see on our website with the dates on that. Thanks again, Avi. Thanks to all our participants. Thank you. Stay tuned and be alert.
Thank you. Stay alert.